Hey everyone, this is Erin with Five Parks Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. Today's class is being filmed in Langosta, Costa Rica. I'm dealing with some bright sun and a little bit of wind, but it's a lovely setting. I hope you enjoy the sound of the waves and the sound of the breeze. Today's class is going to include all kinds of binds. So we're going to be taking seated binds, standing binds, twisting binds, balancing binds. Some of these postures may be challenging to you, but I hope that you take on the challenge and try something new. I'm going to include a strap in certain poses, or teach you or show you how to use a strap. So if you have one, go ahead and grab it. And we're going to start today in Child's Pose to stretch out the hips and the shoulders. So when you're ready, go ahead and bring your shins onto your mat. Bring your knees wide, your big toes to touch. Set your hips back on your heels, walk your hands forward, and release your forehead down onto your mat. Begin to observe your breath and listen to the sound of your breath as it travels in and out through your nose. As you settle into your space, begin to shape your breath. So working toward longer and slower inhales and exhales. Notice the sensation in your hips and your low back. Notice the stretch and the release in your shoulders and your chest. Complete this exhale and come up into a tabletop position. And let's take some cats and cows. So breathe in, drop your belly. Breathe out, round your spine. And continue to move between these two postures with your breath. So take the entire length of your inhale and the entire length of your exhale to move your body from cow to cat. And take one more of each. Come back to tabletop position, and let's move into thread the needle posture. So as you breathe in, lift your left arm up, reach it high to the sky, and then slide your left arm behind your right, come onto the back of your left shoulder, and then rest your left ear down on your mat. Breathe in and out. Big breath in, unwind from your twist, and then just take a half bind here. So reaching your left hand around toward your right hip. Start to roll your left shoulder open and look up toward the ceiling. And then unwind from your twist as you inhale. Exhale, release your left hand back to your mat for tabletop position, and we'll switch sides. So breathe in, lift your right arm up, look up towards your fingertips, and then slide your right arm behind your left. Come onto the outer edge of your right shoulder, and then rest your ear down on your mat. Take a deep breath in and out. As you inhale, unwind, and then take a half bind. So reach your right hand around toward your left hip. Roll your right shoulder open, and then look up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, tabletop position, and make your way into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under, lift your hips high, and release your heels down towards your mat. Start to bend and straighten one leg at a time, warming up the backs of your legs. Shake out your head. You can roll it in circles in one direction and in the other direction, just releasing tension from your neck. And then taking your feet to touch, bring your heels and your toes to touch, releasing your heels in the direction of your mat. We're going to take bound down dog. So go ahead and reach your left hand toward your right ankle. Take hold of your ankle and then draw your left elbow to the left as you look to the right. And switch sides. Bring your left hand back to your mat. Reach your right hand toward your left ankle. Take hold of your ankle or your calf, and then start to draw your elbow to the right and look to the left. Come back to downward facing dog. So now separate your feet to hip distance apart. Look toward your hands. Walk your feet toward your hands and come into ragdoll pose. As many steps as you need to. Bend your legs a lot. And then reach opposite hand toward opposite elbow. Let your head dangle. You can sway side to side and once again begin to bend and straighten one leg at a time. Release your hands down toward your mat and start to roll your way up to a standing position. Nice and slow. Head arrives last. Then once you're in a standing position, roll your shoulders down and away from your ears. On your next big breath in, lift your arms up overhead, and you're going to encircle your right wrist with your left hand and then start to side bend to the left. So feel that stretch along the right side of your body. Keep your shoulder in line with your hip. Come back to center and switch sides. So encircle your left wrist with your right fingers and then side bend, feeling the stretch along the left side of your body, keeping your shoulder right in line with your hip. And then come back to center, reaching both arms up overhead for tall mountain pose. And then take your hands behind your back, bind your hands in yoga mudra. Go ahead and press your fists down as you lift your chest up. And from here, hinge forward, coming into standing forward fold with chest expansion. This feels like too much this early in the practice. Just take your hands back down onto your mat or a block. And take another deep breath in and deep breath out. As you breathe in, release your hands and come all the way to a halfway lift. So lengthen your spine, reach through the crown of your head, and then exhale, standing forward fold. Plant your hands on your mat, step back to a high plank position and hold your high plank either with knees lifted or on the ground for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down onto your belly. Take the tops of your feet flat to the floor. We're going to take a couple of shoulder stretches here. So extend your right arm to the right, straight out to the side, palm faces down, and you're going to roll to the right. Pick your left leg up and over, bend it, place your foot on the floor. Feel the stretch in the right front of your shoulder, the opening in your chest and your hip, of course. And then come back to center. Switch sides, extend your left arm to the left, palm faces down, right hand underneath right shoulder. Roll in the direction of your left arm. Reach your right foot up and over. Place your ear flat on your mat. Feel the stretch and the opening in the front left shoulder. And then in your hip, of course, as well. Come back onto your belly. And then bring both hands behind your back for bound locust. Interlace your fingers, press your fists up toward your heels. And then if you'd like to, you can lift your legs up off of your mat too. And release, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under and press up high plank and back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in downward facing dog. In through your nose, out through your nose, and then lift your right leg up, open your hip, bend your leg. Take one more breath here. Straighten your leg, level your hips, and set your foot between your hands. Release your back knee down onto the floor. Take your arms up overhead for Crescent Moon Pose, and then sweep your arms all the way around in a circle. Interlace your hands behind you. Press your fists down, open your chest, and look up. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and twist. Left elbow to right knee. Press the palms of your hands together. And then unwind from your twist. Place your hands back down on your mat. Tuck your toes under, step back, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Lift your left leg up, open your hip, bend your leg. Breathe in and out. Level your hips, straighten your leg, step your foot between your hands. Take as many steps as you need to, or sweep it all the way forward so that your knee is stacked over your ankle. Release your right knee down to the floor. Lift your arms up overhead and then circle them behind you, interlacing your hands. Breathe in, puff your chest up, look up. Sweep your arms back up overhead, inhale. And then as you exhale, twist, bringing your hands to your heart, elbow to the outside of your knee. Take a deep breath in and out. Unwind from your twist, place your hands down on your mat, tuck your toes under, lift your knee and step back, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. We're just gonna take 3 rounds of sun salutations this morning. So breath to movement, look toward your hands. On your next inhale, step, walk, or float to the front of your mat. As you exhale, standing forward fold. Breathe in, tall mountain. Breathe out, standing forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, step, walk, or float through high plank to chaturanga or to the floor, your choice. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Round 2, step, walk, or float forward. Forward fold. Tall mountain, rise up. Forward fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, breathe in. Chaturanga, breathe out. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Last round, look toward your hands, come to the front of your mat. Forward fold, tall mountain, forward fold, halfway lift, chaturanga, upward dog, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Lift your right leg up as you breathe in. Step your right foot between your hands as you breathe out. Keep your heel lifted up off the floor. Inhale, come up to Crescent Lunge Pose. Exhale, warrior two. Open up, planting your heel on the floor. On your next breath in, take reverse warrior, stretching back, opening your right side. Exhale, extended side angle pose. Place your elbow on your knee or your hand down toward your mat or a block. Reach your left arm up. All right, this is take two. Extended side angle still on the left leg, but now I'm facing you. My yoga block flew into the ocean and has since been rescued, and my mat blew away, and so I'm switching directions with the wind. So side angle. So arm either on the elbow or reaching down toward your mat, right arm reaching up, so we're still on the left leg. I'm just facing the other direction now. Now as you breathe in, come back to 5-pointed star, reaching your arms up, palms facing out. Exhale, standing straddle splits, take your heels behind your toes, reach your hands around your ankles. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, draw your head closer to the floor. And then take a deep breath in, come all the way back up to 5-pointed star. Exhale, extended side angle, or warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, and exhale, bound extended side angle. So set yourself up into your side angle, and then you can reach your right arm, your right hand, around toward your left hip for a half bind, rolling your right shoulder open, or reach your left arm underneath your left thigh and bind your hands behind your left thigh as you roll your right shoulder open, lengthen through your spine. Keep your neck nice and long. You can look up toward the ceiling. Unwind from your bind. Set your right hand down on the floor, coming into low lunge. You're gonna peel your right heel up off the floor. Step back, high plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press your way back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and out. Look toward your hands. Step walker, float your feet to the outside of your hands and come into malasana. Release your hips down, elbows to your knees, hands to your heart. We're going to be taking bound garland pose on our feet later in class. So we're going to continue to warm up the hips and open the hips in this pose on the floor. We're going to take an opportunity here to bind this pose. So you're going to take your right hand down toward the floor, reach your left arm up for a twist. Okay, now you can stay right here in your twist, or you can half bind or full bind, taking your left hand toward your right hip, half bind right here, or wrap your arm around your leg, bind your hands, and then keep your spine long and start to rotate your gaze up. Okay, unwind, release, and switch sides. Bring your left hand down toward the floor, reach your right arm up, and take a half bind, reaching your right hand toward your left hip, rolling your shoulder open, or a full bind, reaching your left arm around your left knee, binding your hands, and rolling your shoulder open as you gaze up. Release from your bind, from your twist, and take your hands down onto your mat. Keep your right leg where it is. Step your left foot back so that you're in a wide-legged low lunge. We're gonna take bound lizard pose. So release your back knee down onto the floor. Roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Keep your toes in line with your heels. Bend your left leg. Reach your hand around for your foot. Start to draw your foot in. You can always take a strap around your foot and hold on to the strap as well. And release. left foot down onto the floor, plant your hand, step back, high plank pose, lower chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, breathe in and out. Lift your right leg up, step forward to low lunge pose. Lift your arms up overhead, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And let's balance half moon pose. Take your hand to a block or the floor. Lift your left leg up. 2 more breaths. Exhale, step into prayer squat. Take your hands to your knees, thumbs face in, breathe in. Exhale, dip your left shoulder in, look to the right. Come back to center, breathe in. Exhale, look to the left, breathe out. Inhale, come back to center, bring your hands to your heart, your shoulders over your hips, breathe in. 5-pointed star, breathe out. Warrior two, breathe in, reverse warrior, exhale, low lunge, step back, high plank, chaturanga, upward dog, downward facing dog, look toward your hands, step, walk, or float to malasana, release your hips down toward the floor, bring your hands to your heart, breathe in and out. Last breath here. Take your hands down onto your mat. Keep your left foot where it is. Step your right foot way back behind you. Lower your back knee down to the floor. For bound lizard, roll onto the left outer edge of your foot. Keep your toes in line with your heel. Bend your right leg. Reach your left hand around for your right foot. Draw your foot in. Release your right foot back to the floor. Take your left hand to your mat. Step back, high plank, lower chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Step forward, low lunge. Rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse warrior, stretch back. Half moon. Step onto your left foot, stack your right hip on top of your left, reach your right arm up. And exhale, prayer squat. Big step, wide, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, standing straddle splits. Reach your right hand toward your left ankle, so across your body. Reach your left arm behind your right toward your right ankle. You can scoot your foot in a little bit if you need to. And then begin to twist as you look underneath your right arm toward your right toes. Okay, come back from your twist. So your arms are in an X position, and then you're gonna keep your left hand where it is. Release your right arm and bring it behind your left arm. Reach for your left ankle. Bring your feet towards one another as much as you need to grasp your ankles, okay? And then you're gonna twist, drawing your elbows towards one another. You're gonna start to twist in your spine. Look underneath your left arm toward your left toes. Okay, release from your twist, come back to center. Now you can release your hands. On your next breath in, come back to 5-pointed stars. So take your toes out to an angle. Inhale, rise up, reach up, palms face open. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse warrior, stretch back. Low lunge, hands to the earth. Step back, high plank. Lower chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in, lift your right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Inhale, come up to crescent lunge. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and twist. Left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Press the palms of your hands into one another as you twist deeply. Okay, now option here for a bind. First step is left hand to the floor, right arm reaching up. Second step is right hand reaching toward your left hip, rolling your shoulder open. Third step is to bind, reaching your left hand underneath your right thigh, clasping your hands, and holding here. All right, if you're bound, unbind, bring your hands back, palms touching, and then step your left foot to meet your right and come into twisting chair pose. Inhale, come back to chair pose at center. Exhale, twist, right elbow to the outside of left knee. Hold here in your twisted chair. Okay, now keep your left foot where it is. Step your right foot way back to a lunge position. So now you're in twisted lunge. And then moving into a bind. Take your right hand to the floor, left hand to the ceiling. Step one. Step two, left hand toward your right hip, rolling your shoulder open. And then last, you can take your right hand underneath your right thigh and clasp your hands. Okay, release from your bind, hands back to your heart. Inhale, unwind to crescent lunge. Reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to the earth. Inhale, step back, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Okay, we're gonna look toward the hands and this time float, step, walk, or float through to a seated position. Come into boat pose. This is our active rest portion. So we're gonna actually get back up on our feet and do some more binds after this sequence. So take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes so you're binding your toes. You can stay right here or begin to straighten your legs. And then last, if you'd like to try upward angle, you're gonna separate your legs into a straddle, lifting your chest, lifting your chin, lowering your shoulders, feeling the stretch in your inner thighs, the strength in your core. Bring your legs back together if they're not already. You're gonna bend your left leg, place it on the floor. Take your right foot towards your left hip. Okay, so you're in half lotus pose. If half lotus doesn't work for you, you can just place cross-legged on the floor. I'm gonna take this into a twist and a bind. So take your right hand behind your right hip, lift your left arm up, and twist. Left hand toward right knee. Okay, and if you'd like to try the bind, you can reach your right hand all the way around for your right toes. So same foot, same fingers. Look out over your shoulder. And again, this is a great place for a strap. If you want to put the strap around your foot and hold on to your strap. So maybe your hand's all the way out here, and that's just fine. You can start to walk your hand down your strap, getting it closer and closer to your toes. Come back to center. Take your right foot out in front of you, and again, either with a strap or binding your hands underneath your right foot, begin to lift your foot up for heron pose. And we'll take revolved heron as well. So take another breath here. Hold on to your right foot. Flip your hand to the outside of your right foot, your left hand, and reach your right arm back. And come back to center and release, and we're gonna switch sides. So now you're gonna take your right bent leg to the floor, left foot to right inner thigh for half lotus pose, or a cross-legged position. You're gonna take your right arm, reach it up, and take hold of your knee, twisting deeply with your shoulders over your hips, or bind your hand around your left foot. Okay? And take a strap if you'd like. And take hold of your strap with your left hand and walk it toward your toes. Okay. Unwind from your twist. Take your left foot out in front of you, either with or without a strap. You can come into heron pose. So holding on to your foot as you lift your chest, look up past your toes. And then for revolved heron, either holding onto your strap around your foot or flipping your right hand to the outside of your left foot, staying nice and upright, reaching your left arm back, looking back toward your left thumb. And then come back to center. Bring your right foot to meet your left, so you're back to boat pose, reaching your arms forward. Now take arrow mudra, crossing your thumbs, reaching your forefingers forward, and then bring your feet to the left as you bring your arms to the right. Come back to center, and then switch sides, bring your feet to the right, reach your arms to the left. Come back to center, take hold of your knees, roll one time the length of your spine, cross your ankles, plant your hands, and jump back to chaturanga. Or step back high plank to low plank. Press back to downward facing dog. All right, moving into some more standing bound posture. So lift your right leg high, step forward, low lunge. Inhale, come up to crescent lunge, lifting your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands behind you, interlace your fingers, puff up your chest as you breathe in. Exhale, bound warrior 3. So step forward onto your right leg, lift your left leg up off the floor, balancing here. You can hold here or come into toppling tree pose, bringing the crown of your head closer down toward the floor. And then standing staff, bringing your left leg through. Arms reach up. Okay, from standing staff, we're gonna come into standing wind removing pose. So take your hands, wrap them around your left knee, and start to draw your left knee up toward your left shoulder. Hold here, feel the compression in your left hip. Nice, strong arms. Okay, now release from here to dancer pose. So bring your left foot behind you, take your foot with your left hand from the inside, reach your right arm up, and then start to kick your left foot into your left hand. Make your way to dancer pose, and then keep traveling all the way till your right hand comes to a block or the floor. And now you're gonna switch the grip on your left foot. So it comes to the outside of your left foot. Now start to open your hips Stacking left hip on top of right and moving into sugarcane pose. And then come back to Halfmoon Pose. Step down to low lunge. And we're gonna take bound side plank. So if you don't wanna take bound side plank, you can just take side plank. Otherwise, you're gonna take your right peace fingers around your right big toe, plant your left hand on the floor, step back, bring your foot with you, lift it up, and then Eka Pada Chaturanga, bring your right hand to the floor, keep your right leg lifted, lower down, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, deep breath in, and out. Lift your left leg up, step forward, low lunge, rise up, crescent lunge. Take your hands behind your back, yoga mudra. Press your fists down, lift your gaze. Standing, bound, warrior 3. Step onto your left leg. Reach your right leg up off the floor, extend it behind you. And then toppling tree, releasing your head down toward the floor, hands behind your back. Coming up and over, you lift your right leg higher. And then release to standing staff. That was not a very delicate release for me, but make your way there. Take your hands around your right leg. Get a nice tight grip. And then start to draw your right knee up toward your right shoulder. For standing wind removing pose. Feel the compression in your right hip. Your release is dancer pose. You're going to flip your hand, palm face up, take hold of your foot from the inside, lift your left arm up, start to kick your foot into your hand as you travel forward, dancer pose, all the way down to a block or the floor. And then you're going to take your hand, switch your grip to the outside of your right foot. Now, start to roll your hips open, kick your foot back so you're in sugarcane pose now. I'm battling the elements today. My yoga mat keeps blowing away. Okay, now you're gonna step way back to low lunge pose. So open up to half moon, lower your right hand and your right foot down to the floor. In preparation for bound side plank pose, take your left peace fingers, wrap them around your left big toe. You're gonna take your foot with you as you open up to side plank, or you can just step your left foot to meet your right. Hold. Okay, Eka Pada Chaturanga, roll back, keep your left foot lifted, lower down. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and out. Okay, we're moving into our final peak standing postures for this class. So we're preparing ourselves first for bird of paradise pose. So we're gonna move into this posture today from our bound side angle pose where we've already been. So go ahead and step your right foot between your hands. Make your way up through a crescent lunge, warrior 2, reverse warrior, side angle pose, and bound side angle pose. If you're using a strap, you can take your strap into your left hand and just drape it to the outside of your right leg and take hold of the strap behind you, and you can keep this position for your bird of paradise. Otherwise, you're going from a bound side angle pose. You're gonna step your left foot toward the front of your mat. And now you're standing your weight onto your left leg as you lift your right leg up and stand up. First, stand up so that your shoulders are over your hips. You're balanced firmly on your left foot. And then extend your right leg. You may Maybe look to the left. So bend your right leg, release your bind, take hold of your right knee, hug it into your chest. Keep hold of your right shin with your left hand. Wrap your right arm to the inside of your right leg. Flip your hand, reach it around, and then take your left hand, clasp your right hand with your left hand behind for bound garland. Okay, and you can try to move from bound garland to flamingo. Inching forward, torso comes parallel to the floor. And release your hands to the floor. Come into standing splits pose. Extend your right leg up behind you and step back, low lunge pose, and then downward facing dog. All right, so bird of paradise, bound garland, and flamingo on the other side. Quite a challenging sequence, so work with where you're at today. Use your strap if you need to. If you fall out, no big deal. So lift your left leg up, step forward. Crescent lunge, warrior two, reverse warrior, and side angle pose. Moving into your bind, if you'd like to, you can take your strap into your right hand, down the back of your left leg, and then take hold of the other end of your strap with your left hand, and just keep this position as we do our bird of paradise. Or you can bind your hands around your left thigh. Okay, for a bird of paradise, step your right foot forward, and you're gonna balance on your right leg now. You lift your left leg as you come up to standing. Your shoulders over your hips. Extend your left leg. Maybe look to the right. Bend your left leg. Release your bind, but keep hold of your left knee. Hold on to your right shin with your right hand. Bring your left arm to the inside of your left leg. Flip your hand over and start to wrap your arm around your leg. Take your left hand, bind, take your left hand with your right hand, bind it, okay? Bound garland, flamingo, hinge forward. Torso parallel to the floor. Release your hands, standing splits. Low lunge, down dog. We did it. All right, so look forward, come to seated. Bring the soles of your feet together for butterfly. Take your hands around your ankles, elbows toward your knees. Stretch out your low back, your inner thighs, and your hips. Release from your fold, extend your left leg forward, take your right foot flat to the floor, in line with your hip, so not necessarily touching your inner thigh. I'm going to show you how to use the strap in this pose if you'd like. So first, take your left hand to your shin, right hand to the inside of your right leg. So we basically just did this on our feet. You're going to wrap your right arm around and left hand to meet your right. If you'd like to, you can take your strap into your right hand and then hold onto your strap with both hands, okay? Okay, now from here, you're gonna forward fold. It's not gonna be a big movement. Just start to hinge forward. Switch sides, so extend your right leg forward. Bend your left leg, foot flat to the floor, in line with your hip. So keep hold of your left shin with your right hand. Bring your right arm to the inside of your right leg, flip it over and wrap it around. And take your strap in both hands, if you'd like, or you can bind your hands together. And then a little forward fold here. And then release from your fold, release your arms. Extend both legs out in front of you, with or without a strap around your feet. Seated forward fold. You can hold on to the outer edges of your feet or peace fingers around your big toes, drawing the crown of your head closer toward your toes. Again, strap just as far as you can, hinging from your hips. Release from your fold, cross over your ankles, and come back to downward facing dog. All right, we're just preparing ourselves for half pigeon pose. So you can lift your right leg up and then step it forward, bringing your shin to your mat in the direction of parallel with the front of your mat. Extending your spine. And then coming forward, resting your forehead on something. Your fists, the floor, a block. You can stay in your resting pigeon, or you can try mermaid pose. For mermaid, you're gonna come back up onto your hands. You'll bend your left leg and take your foot from the inside with your left hand. You're gonna start to draw your foot closer in with your hand and bring your toes towards your elbow crease. Okay? Then you're gonna extend your fingers up, palm faces out, reach your right arm up and over, and then take hold of your left fingertips with your right fingertips and find a bind. And then start to rotate your chest and your gaze forward, elbow reaching up toward the ceiling. And then release your bind, release your left foot down toward the floor. Step back to high plank pose and lower all the way down onto your belly. We're gonna take floor bow pose now. So you're gonna bend both legs, reach your hands around for the outer edges of your feet. Bring your knees into alignment with your hips, forehead rests on the floor. Now from here, you can start to kick your feet into your hands, peel your forehead and your chest up off the floor, and then option to kick your feet into your hands and lift your thighs up off the floor as well. Okay, and release. Feet to the floor, hands underneath your shoulders, press up high plank or tabletop, press back downward facing dog, and prepare yourself for half pigeon on the other side. So you can step your left foot forward, reach it up if you'd like. Left shin comes to the floor. Extend your spine long, and then rest your head down. Okay, for mermaid pose, you can stay where you are if you'd like, or you can come up onto your hands, bend your right leg. Take hold of your foot from the inside with your right hand. So this is opening for your shoulder here, okay, versus holding it from the outside, your shoulder's closed, okay? Bring your toes towards your elbow crease. Extend your fingertips up, open the palm of your hand, and then reach your left arm up and over. Clasp your hands, and then start to rotate your chest and your gaze forward. Okay, and release your foot down. Take your hands back down onto your mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Okay, and then come to seated. You're going to make your way down onto your back. Let's make our way into Happy Baby. If you can bind your toes with your peace fingers in Happy Baby. Otherwise, hold onto your thighs or your calves. And then if you'd like to experiment with straddling your legs, extending maybe one at a time, maybe both, or drawing your thighs parallel to the floor for traditional Happy Baby pose. You can rock side to side if you'd like. All right, bring your legs to 90 degrees. Bring your arms to goal post. Release your knees to the right. You can rest your right hand on your left knee, or this is half belly twisting posture, or you can extend your legs straight and bind your foot with your hand. Bring your knees back through center and switch sides, either bent or straight legs to the left. You can bind your right foot with your left hand for full belly twisting posture, or you can place your left hand on your right knee for half belly twisting posture. You can gaze in the opposite direction of your feet. Breathe deeply here. Come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. We're making our way towards Shavasana. Nice release after a challenging class, a major filming challenge for me today. Lots of blowing things. Just extend your legs long, feet fall open. Arms rest alongside your body, palms face up. Take a scan of your body, working your way up from your toes, all the way to the crown of your head. Relaxing and releasing any tension that you're holding on to. Paying extra special attention to your face, relaxing your jaw, your forehead, your whole head. Closing with a cleansing breath. Breathe in through your nose, hold it at the top. Release it when you're ready through your mouth. Return to the natural rhythm of your breathing. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your heart, from my heart to yours. Namaste.